let's satisfy John a little bit here. Give him
what?
Give him the spark notes about why you went to jail.
I want to hear it.
A lot of arson, a lot of assault, a lot of vandalism. Those are the big three.
You know he gangster.
I went to juvie after like 27 charges. And the biggest one that really set me away was they accused me of trying to light a person on fire.
Why do people call you John?
When I immigrated to America, I got bullied a lot.
That's
for
a white boy
Wootak.
You picked that?
So yeah, and I picked that. Because I was like 6 years old, coming home crying from school being like, I need a white name. Dudes without fathers tend to be more players.
Huh. I got that.
So the daddy issues go both ways for both genders.
We don't know what happened to you, buddy.
You have a dad and you're still a whore? Or like?
I didn't say that. You know, like the dumbest things on TikTok lives. Man, well, actually, that's a really good segue into our first sponsor of the On the Rocks podcast, which is going to be Super Recovery by Super Bonsai. I explain it as the best hangover remedy that I've ever found. I take it literally every time I drink, but we have the founder here today to explain a little more about it, about what goes in Super Bonsai, and then what the plans are for the brand itself. So please give a little bit of a spiel for us.
I got you. So this product specifically is an after alcohol drinking aid. You take it before you drink, and it helps you feel better the morning after. It's all natural things. The main reason why it works is something called DHM. DHM, what it does is it helps your liver's natural ability to beat the toxins inside. So it's extracted naturally from Japanese raisin trees, so it's nothing crazy. Then you got like B vitamins in there. The reason why you have a hangover headache is because you lose B vitamins when you drink. So loading you up on that helps you avoid that. And then you also get nauseous because alcohol irritates your stomach lining. So ginger and turmeric are in there. Natural medicines to fight nausea.
I love it. Yeah, like I said, I've tried many don't work. This one happens to work, and that's why I take it every time I drink. So we'll have a little link in the description, maybe a little discount code for them.
Absolutely.
Can we get a little discount code?
Johnny Drinks discount code. Or would it be On the Rocks?
Let's do a little On the Rocks discount code.
OTR 20. OTR 20 for 20% off.
20% off. You hear that? Sheesh. Awesome.
Those are some of our bigger discounts too, but
only for us.
Absolutely.
Only for us. Well, listen,
only
man.
for my best friends.
I am happy and proud of you. I think it's a long time coming. You know, you've done a lot of different things with bar chemistry, the bar kits, and we're not going to get into the entrepreneur stuff because that shit's boring and nobody cares about it. But what I want to know is what you did before. I was told to say that. I cared about it. They didn't. So I was like, all right, I'll go fuck myself.
I felt the fucking the upsetness,
the pettiness in my voice. Yeah, that comes out once in a while, especially when Joe's in the room because he's got some nasty thing to say. But that leads me into the next thing I want to say. I want to hear more about your life prior to TikTok, but I want to reflect on the first time we met.
Yeah.
One of us reached out to one another. This time we were both pretty big on TikTok. We wanted to collaborate, so you came by the house with my dad and I. You walk into our basement.
Yep.
I want to hear both of your immediate thoughts of who we were as people versus the quote unquote TikTokers you saw.
Well, first, initially, like I definitely seen your crib in the TikToks, and I'm like, it's a nice looking crib. But then I walked in and I'm like, this is a nice fucking. I was like, what the fuck? This is what having a dad looks like. I literally went over to Joe and I was like, this is what it would be like with a dad.
No, man, that's so crazy.
Because we're both fatherless children. Yeah. So
this is not going where I wanted to go. Shout out to my dad, I guess.
Shout out dad.
Yeah.
And then just meeting you guys, it was hella fucking. You guys are very similar to how you're on in the content. I would say a little bit more Italian, if that makes sense.
Aggressive,
more unfiltered. Like you definitely understand that you need a brand voice on, but like it's your personality, just like, you know, not so gabagool. You know
yeah. A little watered down. We can't be cursing as much as we curse.
Exactly. No bad words.
Off camera.
Things like that. Yeah. Overall, I don't know. I think he had a very different experience, but I've noticed that we just have different experiences meeting people, especially when the connection is like we're meeting, you know what I mean? And then he's being brought. So it's like,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like you're more or less the same, except because it's like, I don't know. I'm good at like understanding people. So I meet you and it's like, yeah, you're not going to be like outwardly first words out of your mouth, like saying like vulgar things or whatever, right? But I'm like, I could tell this guy likes to do some things that I like to do, you know?
And now let's pivot over to the guy that had some choice words to say.
Yeah. What you got against my boy, man?
Yeah, it's my boy now.
That's right. I want to preface everything you're about to say. Thank you. That we are, if I had a list of friends, you're in the top 5 at this point in my life.
Yeah, and probably what time you spend together with people, right?
Time spent, these two,
it's like
over
one,
anybody.
Yeah. I thought I was top 3, top 5.
Well, listen, I got a lot of people that I've grown up with. If I said top 3, it's crazy.
And he's never satisfied, bro.
No, that's so crazy. I
thought you top 5. He met you like a year ago.
That would be a crazy compliment.
Yeah.
Please continue.
But I care the most about you.
That's probably, you do care a lot. You care about me emotionally and financially. Because he knows there's only one way to get paid.
I do, yeah. But no, well, there's two. I look at you two different ways I met you. So that one was like, damn, there's bread here. There's a lot of bread and cheese and meat, everything.
Yo, you're so funny.
They eat good every day. Yeah.
But like, you guys definitely have more personality in person. I was like, wow, your dad's super nice, bro.
Yeah.
It's super nice. I'm like, I found a replacement for my father.
Your dad is hilarious because he definitely, like, because he's like older, right? You don't expect the social media personality thing to like actually,
right.
he's like actually living it. And I'm like, yo, he really does this. Like, he's like doing takes again for the second time, like putting a little acting out, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. It's so funny, yo. Yesterday we're at my apartment complex. I live here. And there's a guy that comes up to him, my friend, because again I live here, is like, Johnny Drinks, like, I love your content, blah, blah, blah. And I'm standing like maybe 5 feet away. He's like, oh, thank you so much. Oh, that's my son, Johnny, come here. He's one that films me.
He said, meet my videographer.
I swear to God, he might as well have said that. I was like, Dad, yeah, well, meet my friend. I live, you know what I mean? Like, what are you fucking talking about? You're going to introduce me to the people that I fucking know already? The reason it came up to you was because of me. What are you talking about? So the ego is crazy.
Bro, he says some stuff that I'm just like, I can't even believe. I could never say that in my life.
Wait. He said to Dalton that I said to my buddy has a podcast, just started out, couple episodes in, and he's crushing it already. My dad face is like this. Yeah, cool. Oh, who'd you have on? Oh, cool. As he's walking away, goes this to Dan. Everybody's got a podcast now, huh? And then walked away. And I was like, yo, who are you throwing shade at? Me and him? That's so funny. That's where he shows his age, dude.
Oh
it's
my
like,
God,
he just
bro.
says things that are so unfiltered. And I appreciate you guys appreciated him, because I'm at a point in life where I don't give a fuck. Like you're growing up, you're like, Dad, don't say that in front of those people. So bad. Now I'm like, listen, you're yourself. You're not a reflection of me.
Bro, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I know young ass people that say shit like that, but
they have
you have more room
excuse.
to when you've lived life.
You don't give a shit. Well, you're holding back on how you really felt about me.
Oh no, well that's the first time.
Oh, go ahead.
Second time was but it all makes sense. I told Dan yesterday why. I'm like, I figured it out.
What?
But like, the second time when you started the podcast, you're like, Joe, I need your help. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
I would always see you with your father. And I'd be like, man, this guy's boring. He's a brick.
But John was just a brick is fucking wild.
Brick is crazy.
And, but because
I see what you mean about him be talking shit, bro. Yeah.
You don't even know.
but
you do know.
I do know. Yeah, he used to bully me all the time too.
It's crazy.
But behind the scenes, I'd never disrespect you in public.
Thank you.
Well, sorry.
Well, that's all right. Though. I allowed it.
Yeah, so so then once I would catch glimpses of you without that, I'd be like, oh, you're just a son being a son in front of your dad. Yeah.
You just haven't had a father in your life ever, so you don't know what it means to behave in front of him.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then so then now that it's just you on the podcast, I feel like I've grown exponentially closer to you.
Yeah.
Like you definitely
overall, it's like you got to go out with him. Like you got to just go be boys together rather than like collabing with your dad in the picture as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I have a question for two individuals that don't have fathers in their lives.
Well,
I don't know why you had to say it like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know how else to say it. I was gonna say fatherless. I don't know what was gonna be worse. So that's how I said it. Because you're right. Like I think everybody that has a dad that's very close to them and it's involved in their everyday life is always gonna be a little more filtered when they're around versus not. And then like when he's not around, you really get to see like the true version of that person.
Exactly.
I guess it's a two-part question. Do you feel like people without dads maybe find their true selves quicker? And then second question would be, is there anybody that you have in your life that you do put a filter on as in like a father role?
Oh, like a masculine like role model?
Yeah.
I'll say that it goes like one or two ways when you don't have a dad. It's either you grow up real quick and you become a man faster on your own, but that's like 10% maybe of situations without fathers. Because if you look at the statistics of like fatherless households, right, it's like way more high risk of jail, way higher risk of not finishing school, like all these like like a humongous increase in like negative everything, right, happens. And then But like there's like the one-off story, like the LeBron James type shit, you know, like LeBron had no dad and he's LeBron fucking James. And you hear a lot of stories like that, but that's such a small percentage where it can either go the opposite way and you grow up real quick and you become a natural leader and all these things, or you get fucked because there's no, like it's anyone raising a child alone, it's tough, but especially I think like the feminine role of parenting is like gentleness, nurturing, all that. But then there's that's why you usually hear like, don't make me tell dad, right? Because dad's gonna smack you in the face, and then the child is like, "Yep, dad's gonna smack me in the face, so I'm gonna behave now." Yeah. But without that, there, like you be acting up, and that's why I was a bad boy. So,
well, it's funny you mentioned like the extreme, which would be LeBron.
Yeah.
But I would say you like are considered people that have made it past the statistics of getting fucked up based on not having a dad.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
you seem to have found yourself a lot quicker, and I guess the next question I would have is like, what do you think the real importance of having a father in the house is? Like, what did you not have?
I guess like fear of my parent, like, you know what I mean? Like my mom tried to take on the role, but at the end she's also like the role that's supposed to like nurture me after I get my ass beat, right? So it's like, it's this like weird, like her trying to do her best doing both, but also cause single mother income, she's just not home all the time, right? So basically like I was raised a lot by my grandparents. And then my grandfather was that like masculine role model, but he like passed away when I was young. I was like 11 or 12 when he passed away. So that was like different trauma as well, right? Because then I lost like who was supposed to be my dad. And that's when I went to like JUVIE like shortly after that. So,
which you want to talk about today?
We could talk about it, but it's a story I've told a lot on the internet. So anyone watching this that knows me has probably heard it before, but I'm okay.
Guess who hasn't heard
questions.
it?
Me? You, yeah.
Because you just don't want to watch his content.
That's not true at all.
Yeah,
that's not true. I want to hear this
interview on the UTI, man.
I saw what I thought was one of the wildest thumbnails I've ever seen, which is like you behind bars. It was like from JUVIE to content. I forget what it was. I was like, that's wild. But before you say that, because I want to hear that story, I want to hear your thoughts on the question. Because I don't want to dismiss your answer.
I got to preface a lot of my
Please do.
experience though, because it would offend people greatly.
Please stop smoking on the podcast.
I'm so sorry, bro. I thought it was my show. Anyways,
that's so nuts, man. Please continue.
But so I had my parents are divorced, so I had my father for 16 years, and I only see him on the weekend, and I have a stepfather. He's very, very good to me. Very good, very good. But he also worked a lot, and his job required him to travel almost every single week and only be home for like maybe 2 months, right? So I want to give him his flowers at the very least. He taught me a lot of correct things. Like in the amount of time that he was there, he definitely instilled my faith in me, whether or not I decided to practice it as a good boy. But that's what I believe. Because he's such a smart person, I know that he, logically went through it and was like, okay, I know this. Like, he did all the work for me. I just have to trust this.
Yeah.
And my real dad was a Italian man, so divorced with my mom. I looked just like my mom. They had rocky relationships. So, like, countering views and stuff, Spanish. And I don't know why they keep trying to do it. It never really works too well. But Spanish is too relaxed. Italian is very, like, you're in the army. You're here to be raised, you know?
Right.
So like, yeah.
Okay, so you had a father role.
Yeah.
You might have
had two
to find
actually.
A father role. You did, okay.
But because of the separation and like during the week, that was literally just my mom.
Yeah.
I felt very disconnected, So like, and like, if I'm going over your house for 2 days a week and I'm getting parented 24/7, everything I do is wrong. It's like,
his dad was mean to him.
Yeah. But like because he felt like he would tell me, he's like, I got 24 hours. I got 24 hours to concentrate parenting from a week into 2 days. I'm like, just be my friend. Let's go play some golf or something. I don't know.
Everyone's dad played catch with him. You beat my ass over.
Like, I'm in school. I hate school. I'm coming here for 2 days and you're just bullying me for 2 days.
Yeah. Oh, these are struggles that I could always hear about, but I never really dove deep. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm really understanding you guys, and I feel like I understand you on a deeper level. The next thing I have a question about, I guess a follow-up. Because I've always been so curious about this, and maybe this is something that shocks you guys because you wouldn't know. They make memes about it, right? Like the guilt that like, why couldn't my dad be a fuck up? Because then I'd be way, a way harder worker. Yeah. There is a guilt associated with having a really good family. Is like, I see people that have fucked up families, and I'm like, damn, they're doing super well. Look at me. I have the audacity to fuck up and talk back to my parents. And if I got pushed a little harder, if my dad was a little bit more of a dick or he wasn't in the picture, maybe I'd be better off. And so it's like this weird dichotomy of like you're thinking the opposite sense because it's like the grass ain't always greener. And especially that sense, I think the point that we're trying to get across here is like we're not saying you should be striving to be in a single parent household, but if it does happen, these are things you should be looking out for.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel like the world just fucking idolizes underdog stories so much that when you don't have one, and like maybe you even do, right? Like no one is without struggle, but like if you don't have like the popular trending struggles, which is like fatherlessness is huge, obviously, right? Because I don't know, men hate being fathers for some reason. It's very easy to leave too because you're not carrying the baby in your stomach, But yeah, I don't know. Everyone is like, it's the same shit with the fucking like oppression Olympics, like with like the whole like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, my people had it this bad, but no, we had it worse. And it's just like, yeah, like people in general had it fucking bad. It's like, let's not fucking focus and glorify and take identity in that, but more just like where you are now, you know? But yeah, I get it.
There's just excuses to not be like, if you have no motivation built in, you just want an excuse to not have motivation. Right. In my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah. But like you said, like everybody's got to struggle. That one's just like the more popularized struggle. And it's like, oh, you got that excuse. Now everything you do is gravy, right? As long as you're not a complete fuck up, you won.
Exactly.
Versus the guy that maybe has everything and anything and is giving back to society and is philanthropic, but he had both parents in his life, so it's not fair.
Bro, it's literally like sympathy points. It's like, damn, you got more sympathy points than me, bro. Like now everything you do that's fire is more fire. Like it's like, you know what I mean? Like let's use us for example, right? You're fucking killing it. I'm killing it. We're in a similar like job pretty much, right? But it's like if you, I think what you're thinking is like, oh man, he was able to do that without a dad or some shit.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But it's like, shit, man, I'd rather just have my dad. You know?
Well, I think that's the point.
What was the comment that you recently just got? It was fucking ridiculous. It was like from silver spoon in his mouth.
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy.
That's what makes people like you who have done nothing wrong to like, you know what I mean? It's like, if you have, why the fuck would I ever be embarrassed about like I came from sorry that my dad killed it, like the fuck, like, you know what I mean? Like sorry that motherfucker worked hard and cared about raising his family, right? Like you're over here bragging that yours didn't. What's wrong with you? You know,
it's like this ironic. We strive to have that thing, but then if your parents had that thing, that makes you uncool or deemed now.
And dude, and you specifically are like I've met a lot of people with like cool parents, you know what I mean? Like the type of parents that would like let them throw parties or like, you know what I mean? Like be in their lives, show up to all the games. And I'm just like, you ended up like shit. You know what I mean? Like, but like you, and I've met like your siblings too, like you guys have not. So if anything, that's more of a testament to like, you know?
Yeah. Listen, and like you said, everybody's got struggles and I would never be the one to like come on camera and be like, well, I deal with this and that. Because I don't care to even express that to anybody. Because I think at the end of the day, everybody's on a level playing field. It doesn't really matter how you got there. It matters, you know, that you did. Yeah. And the other reality is you're seeing people online and that have success that are a small percentage. Like you just said before, the odds are still much greater that if you came from a healthy household, that you are going to turn out better than those that don't.
Exactly.
And better could be, it can mean a bunch of different things.
Yeah,
it doesn't
financially,
have to be
mentally,
yeah. Very interesting. I like hearing your guys' sides of that story.
Another weird statistic about the fatherlessness is promiscuity. Dudes without fathers who grow up in a single mother household tend to be more players because they grow up with no masculine guidance on like, because if I had a son, right, I'm gonna be like, yo, don't fuck around, don't stop chasing girls all the time. Take it from me, a man who's done that is fucking useless. It's a waste of, not only useless, it subtracts from you, you know? But I had no dad to tell me that. Plus, I grew up only with female validation in the household. So like all senses of my validation came from a woman, right? So that feminine attention, feminine love, both my mom and my grandma, you know? And it was like, so then you get older and you just seek that constantly in like relationships, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like,
that's an interesting one.
You have like a bigger need for female attention than I think people who grow up in 2-parent households. Yeah. And I'm noticing it to be true because all my most whorish friends have no dad.
I got that.
So the daddy issues go both ways for both genders.
We don't know what happened to you, buddy.
Well, I think, it's funny you say that because like you look at my parents, they've been married for however many
As in
years.
you have a dad and you're still a whore, or like
I didn't say that. But what I was going to say was that, yes, I had great role models in my life. My sister is married. My other sister has been dating this kid for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
But those conversations that you just mentioned that you're going to have with your son, I got to be honest, I've never really had them with my dad.
Really?
I never went to my dad. I always felt this like awkward wall that was built up between us
Around
about
that.
talking about girls and my relationship. And it's my fault. Like he would always be like, so how's so-and-so? I'm like, no, Dad, I don't want to talk about it. So I would never express, like I get like all weirded out. Even today, if he's like, how's that so-and-so? I'm like, shut up, Dad. So
and your dad probably it's clear your dad wants to
he's
talk
just
about
like
it
goof,
with you.
bro. No, he just likes to fuck with me. You know what I mean? Like, how's the, how the ladies?
I know
He'll say
exactly
that.
what you mean. Anytime that conversation comes up with family, I get so weirded out. It's
Oh,
weird.
like I don't want to hear. I don't
Well,
want to
do you
talk
think it's
about it.
because like he's just been with your mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that's why? Because you're like, man, if I tell him like more than 2 girls, that's it.
I swear to God, he has no. I forget what I
Yeah.
said the other day. Oh, it wasn't related to women. It was like online betting, and he was like, "That's what you do," and I was like, "Yeah, I like to gamble." He's like, "That's the type of person you are." Really? I was like, "Man, you don't know." I was like, "You really have no clue, bro."
I mean, okay, so my mom is similarly, right? Like, obviously, she just grew up in a different time period. Like, never drank, barely partied. Like married the first guy like she dated, right? And it was just like, and she's always like, "Don't drink too much. 2 drinks is too much." And I'm like, 2 drinks?
Like, Ma, I
I'm
just
like,
had 3
there's
shots.
video footage of me chugging bottles of liquor on the internet, Mom. I hope you don't watch those.
That's the yeah. Your mom probably has no clue, but also really doesn't have an outlet to ever have a clue.
Exactly. She has no comparable like information on like what the standard is nowadays. You know.
Yeah, I had to block my dad on my personal account. he kept swiping up on my shit. I was like, "Yo, stop following me. I can't have you." He's like, I forget what he wrote the one time. I was like, "Nah, this is over."
What is he writing? Like, you don't.
He like talked shit about one of my stories, and like he said it to like the group, like me and my sister, like LOL, what is or whatever it was. And I was like, "Nah,
shit
he's
on
getting
you
blocked."
is
I was like, "He's
hilarious.
getting blocked." There's no way. Because there is like this life
I know
that
for
I
a
live.
fact your dad has a burner account, dude.
Right, he's just watching. All
He's
my
watching your shit
He's just
through
like,
a burner.
yeah, he's just like dissing low key. He's like talking mad shit. But no, it's like one of those things where I live my life, I guess, very publicly with him. So it is
Yeah.
hard to ever have an escape. You know, so I need that. You need to have your escape, but you also need to come to grips that like you're an adult man.
Yeah.
The way you act and the way your dad perceives you, it is what it is at a certain point.
Yeah.
You
Exactly,
can't
dude.
fear this judgment from your parents your entire life.
100%. Like it's like if one way though, I feel like people are gonna hear that and be like, yeah, I shouldn't. But I'm like, but if you still live with your parents,
Oh no, then you listen to their
you
rules.
need
It's
to
their
fucking
house.
You need to respect them because that's not just your dad. That's your boss too. That's your landlord. You know, that's a lot of things.
That's a lot
And
of
if that
things.
wasn't your dad and he was those things, then you would be paying a lot more respect to him.
Yeah.
And money.
Yeah, and money.
I realized that. I felt a lot of guilt growing up, and I was like, my dad is rich. I always used to say, my dad's rich, I'm not rich. I didn't make money yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I can't walk and flaunt around. I used to like hate driving his cars. I just felt very awkward about it.
Yeah.
And when I was in college, like I did everything I could to make sure I was trying to minimize my expenses, like because he paid for college tuition and stuff like that. So I'd like to,
Your sweetheart.
I'd like to like try to be home because
Yeah.
I feared the silver spoon analogy that I would get.
Yeah.
And then it's
You're
funny
gonna get
now
it
that's all you
regardless,
get.
bro.
anyway.
And
It
that's
doesn't
all you
matter.
get now, yeah.
But like now I take it on the chin because I know that's just not
Yeah,
the case.
it's just not
And
true.
they're
Yeah.
jealous, dude. It's like
Yeah.
like nothing pisses off people more than seeing somebody who started off better than them and is still doing better than them.
They want to be like the opposite. They want to
yeah.
be like a
They
crash
want-
out, which is honestly pretty common.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying is like that's why people hate on that's like people will look for any reason to hate, right? When I tell my story, people are like lying and I'm like okay, so like you can't fucking win.
No,
you know
you
what I mean?
really-
Like
you really
it's
can't win.
like you hate me if I have a silver spoon, but you're gonna hate me if I did it without it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like, and it's more about their brain is like cannot fathom how that's possible because they're like, I ain't have shit. And like only people with shit, only if you start with shit can you have shit. I'm like, I ain't have shit, like literally nothing. So I'm the antithesis of your insecurity. But
Guess what? I seen it.
And I'm sure you.
Nothing.
Yeah. Listen, I believe you. I believe you. But I also believe that most people in your situations probably do have that fixated mindset of like, oh, I'm destined to always live here, and my ceiling is here
100%.
because I started wherever I started.
Yeah.
And the other reality is the false reality they think is that like people that are from a higher income household, they're given everything and they're guaranteed opportunities that they just were not. And that's not the case either.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Everyone's ceilings are very small depending on like how their mind works.
Yes.
But if you're starting at up here, even with a small ceiling, right? You're chilling at the top still, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, but most of those people too, they're not taking, like, let's say your family's net worth starts at $1 million, right? They're not taking that million and becoming 100 millionaires. That's still fucking impressive. That's a 100x on your family's starting point.
Yeah. It's
But
like
yeah.
that Donald Trump meme where he's like, I
Exactly.
got a loan of $1 million. You know what you would do with $1 million?
You
Probably
would
nothing.
be a I'm like, yeah, it's a high starting point,
Yeah.
but you would fucking waste that shit in a
It
heartbeat,
would
dog.
be
Yeah.
easy to waste that money, man.
I've watched smart people waste that. I started to realize that as I got into entrepreneurship, and I'm realizing, like, example, like brands like this, right? They raise millions of dollars to start the brand. I'm like, you have like a starting, not to call them, not them
No,
specifically,
yeah, yeah.
but any brand, right? A lot of people raise millions of dollars to start the brand and fumble it within a year. Like that's how quickly they lose all their money. And it's like, you think you wouldn't do that shit, but there's a reason why the percentage of people that make it are so small, because most people do that shit.
Was there a moment that you realized that you did have the ability to escape, I guess, your perceived ceiling?
Well, yeah, it was, oh my God. It's,
Let's see which time.
yeah, there was many, I went through many like humongous transformations to like get to like blowing up on TikTok basically. But the first time I ever, cause life was kind of depressing, right? Like I didn't have American citizenship. So like I had to work only jobs under the table. And so like paying for college was tough. I didn't even know what I wanted to do in college. I wasn't even going to a good school, right? All these things. I'm like, damn, what the fuck am I going to do? Just end up working a shit job. And like, there's no way that this is my life forever, right? And then I watched a Gary Vee video, and the Gary Vee video was basically like, bro, the odds of you even being born you won the lottery. You won the biggest lottery already by being born, right? And he's like, what's the chances of you taking yourself from like a broke nobody to like this and blah, blah, blah. And then he was talking about entrepreneurship in it. And I was like, for some reason in my mind, that was never even like a pathway that I ever considered. I was like, I got to go to school like everyone else. Like I'm fucking like 18, right? So I'm like, no, my brain's just not developed yet. And that developed my brain probably by 4 years. Just the thought of like, I don't have to do things the way everyone else does. And then I started doing a bunch of psychedelics. And then I started to develop like this weird like empathy that I didn't have before. And I think that I always had like a bit higher than average for men empathy levels just from being raised by women. And then once I started like empathizing with like my parents' situation and the reality of where I was when I like locked in. I just dropped out of school. I'm like, cut all expenses. Why the fuck am I spending on a future that I don't want anyways? Number one thing I know that even if I don't know what the fuck I'm doing is I gotta make bread. So what's the highest ROI on all my time? And it's like, well, I have restaurant experience. Bartenders make a ton of money. Let me try to bartend. And then, working in restaurants and then eventually becoming a bartender, stacking my bread, and then and doing more psychedelics. And what I think the psychedelic thing is that you realize when you do. Sorry to turn it this way.
Yeah.
I know this conversation scares you.
I can see him. He's like,
No.
But basically, why I think that the psychedelics helped was my ceiling, my grasp on reality was just what I could see, and everything was logical. And I don't know about God. Like I believe in God, but like I just haven't seen it. I haven't felt it yet, right? So like all these like miracles, I don't really consider real yet, right? I wasn't like a miracle thinker. But like where I'm at now from where I was is a miracle, right? And it's like I have to believe that that's possible for it to be possible. And I didn't believe it was possible before. But then as I started to realize like other people do it, why the fuck would I be any different? And I started to believe that was possible for myself. I started to act in a way as somebody that would receive miracles, right? Like instead of just fucking drinking and spending all my time playing video games, right? I would still drink, but like I spent all my free time learning, because I'm like, what does a guy that takes his family out the fucking trenches and becomes a millionaire would constantly be learning? I'm like, this guy right now would never be able to do that. So I'm like, how can I be the guy that hopefully in 15 years is a millionaire, right? And I'm like, well, that guy would know a lot more than me. So let me start reading books written by other millionaires that have done this shit. Reading hella books, and each book I read, it was almost like a piece of the puzzle like planted in my brain, and then like start the psychedelics like triggered a desire to like get close with God. And as I started reading more about the Bible, I was like, this shit makes way more logical sense than I realized. And I'm just like, the way that if I like, because now that shit was making sense to me, I was kind of just like living my life a little bit more that way, like being just a little bit like more godly, more kind, more empathetic, like all these things. And then slowly, like that, there's like this whole saying, like luck is a skill, right? I started to like truly experience that. And most people don't take luck when it smacks them in the face because they're too arrogant or picky. So like example, one of the biggest things that I think set me here today was meeting this guy from Shinju Whiskey, which is like this little Japanese whiskey brand. While I was bartending, he walked into the bar and was like, yo, I came here because I saw your video. And I was like making shitty little Instagram videos at the time that no one watched. Hey. But my boss really liked them. He was editing them at the time. Boss at the restaurant really liked them. And he just really liked me because I was making him a lot of money. So he like posted one on their Facebook account that older generation people saw. He came in because of that. He was hyped. He wants to take pictures with me. This man, Rob Montgomery, is like still one of my good friends to this day. And then he like started talking to me. He's like, yo, we should work together. And then from then on was like that was my first dollars from entrepreneurship, was I was helping them make content. As somebody that didn't know jack shit about content, I was helping them make content. Yeah. But they really believed in me, both as a bartender and as a creator. And through working with them, I made enough income that I would start paying people a little bit here and there. I had more money to like buy things for videos and stuff, like try shit out, more camera equipment. And then eventually I did that for a year. And it was that gave me the confidence and like the enough income to like, I had to make an LLC because of that. You know what I mean? Like, right. And it's like all these things just happen. And that was such a small, tiny opportunity. It wasn't like some big casting director pulling up and be like, I'm gonna make you famous. It was literally like, hey, I have a whiskey brand. And I'm like, I'll make you videos for free. No one's ever gassed me up like this before. Gives me the whiskey. I make them 2 videos and then suddenly they're paying me to make more, you know? And it was like,
very good time too.
And I have no fucking, I had no followers, dude. Like, you know, like, and
that was actually where we posted one of the first bar chemistry TikToks.
Really?
Yeah, it was a stupid TikTok. He was like TikTok is stupid, blah blah blah. I'm just filming him, recording. He's like pouring a drink. That's it. I put a stupid song, Metro Station, Shake It.
You love your song.
We forgot about no. That one was I was bad at that point, but then we just left it alone, and then pandemic and. It was over from there.
There's a lot to unpack out of that story, and a couple things that I think the thing that I want to hit on is the reason I feel like you were able to escape the quote unquote matrix and reach a new level is that for whatever reason, whether it's psychedelics or one person that, the Gary Vee video that sort of said like, you've already won the lottery. It's actually a higher percentage that you now become successful. You already did the hard part, quote unquote. I think the low-hanging fruit and the lack of fear is probably what helps you succeed, because you going from, and I know you didn't have $0, but going from 0 to let's say $100 or $1,000, that's a gigantic leap for you, right? That's that's an infinite percentage more than what you had. That's a great win for you. Whereas the guy that's a silver spoon baby and wasn't given a multi-million-dollar business when he turned 18, he thinks that he deserves it. So when he gets handed $1,000 or earns $1,000, he's like, wait a minute, that's way less. Now you're taking a step down and you never feel like you're winning until you hit your $1 million threshold. And now you're like, all right, I'm even now. I think the pressure that puts on a young kid is why it's very hard to keep up with the Joneses and your own dad and your mom and now make more than them, right? You got to have this competitive edge, but you also have to realize like your dad, if he's successful, let's say he's 55, he's 60 years old. It took him years and it took him a lot of time of making not a lot of money to get to where he is today. Yeah. So you can't expect to get rich overnight. And I think that's probably the only thing that I think hangs up a lot of people that are born into wealth is that you immediately think the world is going to grant you wealth because of who you are. Yeah. And having that mindset of like, I deserve these things is important, but also realizing that everybody has to feel the sensation of accomplishment and winning something. And your win at 18 years old, I don't care what you're doing. It could be a small raise. It could be, hey, I sold a product online and oh my God, somebody bought it.
Just I don't care. One sale.
I don't care how much I made off that one sale. I made something. Stop counting the dollar amount and more so count your progress. Again, it's a little bit easier when you started low to feel progress versus when you start high.
You're more grateful for the progress.
You're definitely more grateful for the progress. And I think people have to be way more grateful regardless of where they start.
Agree. And then I think something important you said was that they feel like they deserve it. That is the number one thing you need. Like that's something I think I've always had is I'm like delusionally confident, right? Me too, and a lot of people I meet that are delusionally confident are just delusional. Like there is no reason for you to be that confident.
Yeah. Nobody has. There's zero reason.
I think that the reason for confidence is keeping the promises to yourself. So, I mean, delusional, confident people, as in like, oh, I'm the shit, I'm going to be a millionaire, but then you sit down, do nothing all the time. I'm like, what? Your confidence is rooted in literally just you saying it, right? Yep. That's not what I mean by you have to be really confident. But what I mean by I'm really confident was like, hey, I wanted to get, like, I was a skinny kid all my life, and I'm like, I want to get muscular. And I did it in like 2 months, right? Yeah. I'm like, boom, one really, blew up enough. I was going to the gym 7 days a week, eating strict to the point that people couldn't recognize me. I'm like, right there gave me confidence because I was like, I set out to do something and I did it. Right. Same thing with like going to Juvie and getting out. I'm like, oh, I'm fucked right now. I've got to get creative on how to get the fuck out of here. And then I did it. And you know what I mean? So like at a young age, like small things built my real confidence. So when I realized, I'm like, oh wait, people do escape the matrix. Like people do get rich from nothing. I'm like, that's going to be me too. And I believed that was going to be me. And then my body acted in ways that made that me. So I think and that's why rich people, because they start out with millions of dollars already, let's say, right? That's one piece that's already there. It's like, this is my starting point, you know, like I'm guaranteed this. And it's like almost like it can end up in the wrong way where it just manifests into you spending without realizing the value of a dollar, or it can manifest in you. I truly believe I have to get to the 100 million mark. Yeah. And I know how to get there because I was afforded a good I went to Stanford. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you go to Stanford, you start fucking shit up. It's like nothing was going to help you.
That's the point I wanted to make, right? So you had this overwhelming sense of like, I have to learn as much as I possibly can. The reality is when you are born into maybe a richer lifestyle, the connections you already have are going to be more prevalent, but it's less about who you know as far as like what they're going to give to you and more about what they're going to teach you, right? Yes. So you may have to read 1,000 books to read a lesson that John Smith knew because his dad already had that instilled in him. Exactly. But here's the thing. If John Smith, his dad, just thinks that he can just give him everything and he's not actually teaching the lessons, that kid's never going to be where he wants to be. The kid's fucked. And I think that's the problem with a lot of super wealthy parents, that they forget that part. They say, I'm going to give this kid all this money. He already knows all the things that I know. It took me 60 years to learn it, but don't worry, he already got it. And he doesn't have it. And now he has all this money. He hasn't learned the skill set of how about just like really working hard every single day. That has been lost in a lot of different people. And I felt it myself growing up.
And you can't really teach that shit after a certain age, bro. Once they're past 30 and they grew up truly silver spooned, they're fucked, dude. Yeah. And I've always, what's funny is even when I was broke, I've always thought this. I felt bad for rich people. Like, not like feel bad because I would definitely be envious. I'm like, fuck, I need that shit. But like feel bad in a sense. I'm like, when I get rich, no one's gonna be able to say that I was given shit. But for you, I feel a lot of kids get paralyzed by the fact that, like, why not just live off my inheritance? No one is going to give me the clout for doing it anyways. If I do work hard, they're going to just blame it on my dad and blah, blah. And I've noticed that because I live Bergen County. There's a lot of wealthy folks. And I'm like, bro, if I had what you had, I would have built $1 billion empire by now. And you're sitting around doing nothing. But I'm like, but for you know you'll never get the credit. So like...
I always feel, and I'm not, like I said, my dad has done very well for himself. I'm talking about like generational $1 billion wealth. I've always, I've always felt bad, like you just said, bad for those kids. Like, where do you go if you know? Okay, I will never. There's like literally statistically, it may be impossible for me to ever make more than my dad has made. Right. Where do you go from there? Like, how do you have drive to now want to go work? I wouldn't. You'd sit on your ass and find different things to do. And you ever see those memes where it's like someone that's like super, super, you know, oddly like a wizard and spiritual, like, all right, this is a trust fund baby for sure. It's like they knew they couldn't compete in the real world. They had to go to the quantum physics world and now say, I'm at a higher level.
They're chasing growth in other areres.
Because they can't chase it here. You know, they have to accept the fact. I think about it for athletes too. Like I see even LeBron James' son. I don't feel bad for LeBron James' son. I'm sure he's doing really well. But how could you
ever live up to LeBron?
That's gotta be so hard. You have to accept the fact that like, hey, you could be a phenomenal basketball player and that's okay if you're not as good as your dad in that one thing. There's so many different ways in life that maybe you are better than your dad. And it's not a competition at the end of the day. I had to deal with it where it's like I was very competitive and my dad growing up, I was like, he's made a lot of money. My goal in life is to make more than him. Guess what happened? The more money I make is more money I make him now. So I literally cannot escape making this man money, which I've come to grips with, and it's amazing, right? It's beautiful that my dad and I could build a business together, and he's helped me out along the way. And trust me, he makes it known like, hey, this is all because of me. And I'm like, you know, but that's fine. You know, like stuff like that is fun for me.
The creator diva effect.
Yeah. He's always like, you know, this is just for my son. All this stuff I'm doing. I was like, motherfucker, shut up. Like, this is just as much for you, right? Exactly. But
I know your dad loves that shit.
Yeah, there's things in life I think you just have to accept and acknowledge that are going to be real, and find different ways to, I guess, make it on your own. And everybody's life is individual, right? Maybe you don't need $100 million to be happy.
Yeah. I do, but
well, no, they say.
Oh, trust me too.
They say you need 6 figures to be happy. That's it, right?
Nah, I don't believe it.
Isn't that what
it really
Step
depends.
seven.
Six figures. I've noticed 6 figures in New York and what that looks like in Montana. Like, you know what I mean? Like so different, right? And it's just, or 6 figures, $30,000 a year. Anywhere else in the world, you're living like a life with no wants, you know?
That is an interesting
Well, it was a
perspective.
statistic I seen though.
It's
It was like
what?
if you
The
made
odds
6
be-
figures, you'd be good. You'd be comfortable, happy, and you'd be
In
affordable.
America?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, average, not over here.
Yeah.
Here is like you make 6 figures, you better make 6 figures.
I mean, it literally, like when I look at like how my brother lives, he lives good now, but
Yeah.
it's still like, it leaves me with a lot of want, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, you're still
Yeah.
not, there's still many things that can be taken care of that you're not able to afford yet.
Yeah.
You know? And that's where I think I'm currently finally at a level now where I'm like, damn, I can't think of any need I haven't like filled, you know what I mean? Like, and then that's where I'm like, and I'm still have to keep the drive to go further than this.
Yeah.
That's where it gets tough, right? It's like once you've satisfied basic needs, what's the thing driving you further, you know?
I think it's excitement of building something new, right?
Loving
Like
the
even
game.
this project, right? Like this podcast has now been the newest project I've taken on, and for it to yield more return than like our old business, right? Or not old business, the business we started, which was like Johnny Drinks or whatever. It's gonna take a long time, and I'm okay with that. But the dollar amount is sort of irrelevant because I can make a fraction of what I made doing that, and it may be way harder, but it still feels just as sweet. Like I was serious. Like the first brand deal that we received for this, the fact that brands are now coming to us and saying, hey, we want to sponsor your podcast, the dollar amount doesn't even touch maybe other things, but that feels so good. It reminds me of how it used to feel
In the first
like the old
days.
days. So I feel like you
Yeah.
just always got to start new things and try things that you're afraid of, because if not, what's the point of doing the same thing over and over again?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Trying things you're afraid of is the biggest one.
Yeah.
So let's satisfy John a little bit here. Give him the spark notes about why you went to jail.
I want to hear it.
All right. Well,
spark notes.
Yeah. So I was a troublemaker, like I said.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to New Jersey around 11 years old, was when I started really like committing crimes and being caught for them all the time.
Like what?
Like beating kids up, setting
fuck?
fires, vandalism. So a lot of arson, a lot of assault, a lot of vandalism. Those are the big three.
Yeah, no, he gangster.
I had a lot. I went to juvie after like 27 charges, and the biggest one that really set me away was they accused me of trying to light a person on fire, like a girl that like I knew from school. During this, like we were just like hanging out, like her and like a friend like slipped on the ice and were wrestling, and I like pretended to flick a lighter near her pants, and then and it resulted like she got hurt during the wrestling from something I was involved in. Police showed up, and then they were looking through the footage, and they were already, I was on house arrest, by the way, too. So I was breaking house arrest, and I was already in handcuffs for breaking house arrest. Then they're looking through footage and being like, what the fuck were you doing today? I'm like, it was a joke. You don't even see the lighter turn on because I'm not actually flicking it. Boom, straight to juvie. And then from there, I had to go to trial, like go into court and shit. And we were poor, so we can't afford a lawyer. So we had a public defender, and that motherfucker would have sent me away. And I was facing 7 to 12 years as a 12-year-old. So then I'm like, wow, that would be I'm fucked. My life is done, right? And I remember watching my mom faint in the courtroom when she heard that. And that moment there was another big, tremendous, traumatic moment for me that broke my mind and made me, that night, turned me, like flipped me as a human being, like completely. Because even then, leading up to that point, I'm like, I really fucked up bad. I hear that I'm facing 12 years, that also watched my mom collapse, and then it like shattered me. And also like my grandfather had just passed away, so I went back to my cell room and cried for like 12 hours and just like made promises to the sky, being like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna fucking, I don't care if I die doing it, I'm gonna make sure I'm taken care of, like talking to my grandfather almost. And then eventually we switched lawyers, and this shit is like some movie plot, because the lawyer that we switched to was a really decorated lawyer that had such a bad alcohol problem. He quit being a lawyer and worked as an SAT tutor at like one of my church friends' dad's like fucking company, right? Yeah. And so then he was hearing about our problems, and he was like, yo, one of my tutors is like a really good lawyer. He doesn't lawyer anymore, but I can ask him if he'll do it for you guys on cheap. So he did it for us. Didn't even ask for any money, right? So his name is Mr. Bambro. Shout out Mr. Bambro. He's dead now, but R.I.P. Mr. Bambro. R.I.P. But this man became my lawyer, and he's like this tall white guy, right? Like fucking, and he was like hella. I feel like I developed some personality from him even because he was just like a fucking like a messy, like alcoholic white dude. But he
just tell me I'm too big.
Yeah, you're big. You're a big guy. And then
my bad.
And then he was like, yeah, it's not looking good. I think what we can try is like reasons of insanity, not guilty for reasons of insanity, because I was in and out of the psych ward. I'd visited the psych ward about 9 times. Like,
what did they think of?
I was just like suicidal, depressed, and like fucking bipolar. Like I was beating kids up and then saying I'm gonna kill myself and shit like that. Yeah, I was heavily medicated. And then so then I went in and out of the psych ward. I'm on heavy medications, right? So there's like a case to be made here that I am not mentally well, but I was not diagnosed with anything. The only thing was like I had like a pending diagnosis or some shit for like depression, right? And I'm like, that's not going to get you out of setting arson, right? So it was like, so then I was basically like, okay. So he basically was like, yeah, it's not looking good for that either, but that's our only chance at you getting out of this scot-free. And so then I went back to my cell and I was like, well, I'm not crazy enough yet. So I started tweaking. Like I started faking anxiety attacks, telling the counselor I was hearing voices. And then the counselor would send me to I took 2 trips to the psych ward from JUVIE to be evaluated. And by then I was like family with the nurses, the doctors, right? Like they like watched me go through like 2 birthdays, right? So it's like, they're like, I don't know if it was to help me out or not, but you usually don't diagnose children with bipolar disorder because it's very similar to the symptoms of puberty. But right. they diagnosed me with paranoid bipolar disorder, and then I was acquitted of all charges because of that diagnosis. So then I get acquitted of all charges, but it still takes them like 3 months because they can't just release me into the public. So they're like, okay, well, you have to go to this boarding school, it's like a criminal boarding school. It's either you're a criminal or like mentally ill for children that are like psychotic, basically. So they sent me there, and this is like almost like a college campus, but for like the worst of the worst. Like they had one dorm room was for gang affiliated people that were in there for gang affiliated type things. The one I was in was like the high intensity care place. Like this kid that was in the room next to me molested his sister. And he was 17 and his sister was like 9. You know what I mean? Like those were some of the kids that were in there. But then some of the other kids were like I made friends there where like, I mean, everyone in there was clearly fucking troubled, right? But it was like, so I went there for a year and then I got out of that. Like after a year is like the minimum sentence basically to that. And then I got out of that after a year, got sent to like an alternative school because they still didn't want me back in like I was expelled from my public school system. So after that, I just had to sit there and be like, you just be a really good boy. I was going to church and shit. And then eventually they let me back to the public school system, which was unheard of. In the delinquent community, like I was like literally the poster child of how to do everything right from that point on. Everything I did, I spent the minimum amount of time in, which is crazy for the board. Like and that's what I mean by like, none of this was like, I met so many people in every stage of that place that I'm like, God has to be real. Like if that person was not there, the trajectory of everything would have been different. My lawyer, 2 of the officers from the juvenile detention center were like my father figures, like for real. And then like some of the counselors at the boarding school changed my life by just caring about me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it was like without the love they showed me where it felt real and genuine, I don't know if I would have made it out, you know? And yeah.
You all right over there?
Again, this guy, every time he comes here to tell stories, I'm like, where the fuck am I? What the dude, that is I'm learning so much about you. And how are you so normal right now?
Psychedelics, my boy.
No,
don't say it. Please don't say it.
Yeah. I mean, psychedelics changed things for me, but not really. I don't know.
Yeah,
I like, it was
jokes.
God, pretty much. Like, I remember I started reading the Bible on my own when I was like 15, 16. And, 14, because that's how old I was in boarding school. It was when I first started reading the Bible. And I remember, this is a cool story. I started reading the Bible alone in this boarding school, and my roommate, Hanif, who was like my best friend there, he was like one of the more normal ones. I don't know why he was in the high intense. I'm pretty sure he was there for gang related stuff. He's like kid from Newark, mad hood, but like we were best friends, and he would see me read the Bible all the time. He got inspired. So he started reading. He asked me if he could have a Bible, and my mom was so excited. She like bought him a Bible, bought him shit, right? And so like gave him a Bible and we'd like read the Bible together, and he'd like ask me questions. I'm like, I'm fucking 14, dog. I don't know. I'm reading it because I feel like I'm supposed to, you know. I don't really get most of these things either. And then one day he fucking ran. Like, kids would try to run away all the time. It was called going AWOL, and you would hear alarms going off, the fucking big male counselors running, and like I'm talking like literal manhunts, like kids sprinting down the highway while these motherfuckers are chasing them. Type shit, and he's the only one I've ever seen get away successfully.
And he's out still?
You know, I don't know, man. I haven't seen the guy in like 10 years.
Let's hope. Shout out.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Shout out Hanif. They never found him, and like at a certain point, like you're not allowed to, like, they're not police, right? And if you're not court ordered to be there, you don't. Like,
can't just bring you back.
Yeah, there's no. You
Yeah.
can't send police to bring you back,
You're
right?
like, damn,
so if
that's
you
my
get
one
away,
friend.
you get away, bro. Like, and so like he legit got away, and I don't know how the fuck he made. You don't have cell phones, you don't have shit, right? So like you escaped, and then what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what did you do?
So you had no clue where Hanif
and I
is.
never saw him again, bro. This was before Facebook.
Can we find him? Hanif, if you're out there, man, he has 2 million followers. You don't say what's up? Check your DMs for Hanif, maybe.
Trust me, man. None of those people from that, like, a lot of them are dead now. Friends that I had over from that place, like, they're not. Yeah.
I hope Hanif is still out there.
I
I
hope
hope
he
he finds
is.
Me
you, bro.
too.
That
Me
we'd have him on
too.
the podcast for sure.
Yeah, but
That is.
So how fast were you running?
Yeah, well, Hanif, that's great, dude.
Hanif
That
was
is.
a fast boy. He was athletic as
crazy.
fuck. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah.
That makes sense. Your mom must be so proud of you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she's a great woman.
Yeah,
man.
insanely.
Yeah.
I want to meet your mom now.
Yeah.
Damn.
She does.
You put her through the ringer, man.
Yeah, I did.
Right? Like, she probably looks back at that time and is like, wow, I can't believe
Honestly,
I
I'm
actually
surprised
did that.
she's so calm whenever I've been around her.
Well,
Yeah.
how could she
I
not
mean-
be? Nowadays, she's
Yeah.
probably like, listen, everything. No, there's no such thing as a big deal anymore.
Pretty much, right?
You know
and
what
I
I
think
mean? Like,
that
what's
was
next?
And she's the first one to recognize that, like, you know, all of that we went through is like kind of just like why. Like, my brother is fire too, you know what I'm saying? Like he's like
oh.
as far as like
Yeah.
poster
He's what?
Asian children go, like he's
fire.
killing it, right? Like,
Oh, he's doing well.
Yeah. And
it's like Wootak, but just
Polished.
yeah.
Better swag.
We're like
He
almost
said-
polar opposites in many
Yeah.
ways, but we're all like also the same core. you know?
Yeah.
He's cool. I like your brother. What's his
Yeah.
name again?
Nick.
Yeah, you know it's a good story. I don't know if you've told it ever, but how your mother picked your name or how you got your name.
I was about to say, how did you pick your name?
Well, so Korean people
Yeah.
often go to a naming shaman. Like, you go to this like a shaman,
Here
and
we
you
go again.
ask for a name because the name's supposed to, like, a lot of cultures believe this, but what your name is has a lot to do with what you grow up to be, right? So she went to the shaman, and what they do is they look at the date of birth and time. It's kind of numerology-esque. They look at all those things and kind of add up like what you're supposed to be from using, like, it's almost like a version of astrology. It's almost like the formula that astrology was built on top of. So like numerology is like the coding language, and then astrology is like an app built on it, like Python and like some, you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
You were an app founder, so you got it. And then
You're laughing at me, bro.
so the shaman was basically like, oh, your son is gonna be famous. Yeah, he was like, your son's gonna be a celebrity, and then pick my name, and that's the name that we went with.
Yeah,
Wootak.
Yeah.
yeah.
Why do people call you John?
Wutak's not even that
John
common,
was
right?
like when I immigrated to America, I got bullied a lot
That's a
for
white boy name.
Wootak. Yeah,
You picked that?
So yeah, and I picked that because I was like 6 years old, like, coming home crying from school, being like, I need a white name, and then my mom was like, okay, well, here's the Bible. Well, I'll pick a name from here. I was like, John's the easiest to spell. That's me now.
And it's
Oh.
horrible because when I first met him, I'm there in a restaurant. I'm like, hey, where's John? Hey, where's... No, I think I was looking for Wootak. I was looking for Wootak.
Because he applied. He started working there because we had a mutual best friend, and anyone that got close to me just called me Wootak, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So then he knows me as Wootak. He comes in. I'm like, hey, I'm John. He's like, you look like the guy I'm looking for, but you just said your name is John.
No, Wootak. That, wow, another crazy story. You've lived the life, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I'm tired of living life, bro. Like
Yeah.
every quarter of my life is like a new drama series that pops off.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, am I attracting drama by like doing something wrong, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because some of the things I'm like, I had nothing to do with this.
Here's the thing. It's like, you know when you play a video game and you could select your difficulty?
Yeah.
He picked hard.
This man picked expert veteran. Like,
Right, yeah,
I've been
but-
here before. I want the hardest level possible.
Except I don't think I
Please.
did.
You're like, I want an easy life, man.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, that shit over there look real good.
Yeah. I watch him. I'm like, damn, my life good.
Yeah.
My life good.
Well, it's again, it goes back to the whole thing, like what you deserve or what you believe you deserve, and the mindset of like, okay, it's funny, like a lot of people you say like are literally afraid of money, right? They get some, and they feel this internal guilt of like, yeah, this is not gonna last, or I can't make any more than that dollar amount, and I'm probably gonna fuck this up somehow. It's like that weird, you feel happy and then you get very sad because like it's not gonna last, something's gonna happen, and you probably just, because that's what you're so used to, you're like, my life is chaotic, chaos is gonna happen. It's like a defense mechanism. So when it does happen again, whether or not you're manifesting it, this is what now you're creating, you know, and that's a hard. You don't know. Like it's very hard for us to answer these questions.
You just
they're
don't
unanswerable.
know.
It just goes for everything. You think you're gonna fuck up
Because it seemed like
you'll
when
fuck up,
we had Scott Fairley on, and like
Yeah.
that,
Oh,
you want to talk
boy.
about an expert life? That dude in jail, leukemia, dogs die, parents die, like everything that could happen bad happens to him. He's about to come here for a podcast. Calls me the day I was got in a bad car accident. I'm on painkillers. I can't make it. I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like just everything. Like I said, and then you look at other lives and they're like, they're so easy. Why is it so easy for them? It seems like everything goes their way. I don't know. Do you attract it into your life,
Bro,
or is it just
I
people
don't.
have-
And you know what's weird is that my brother is the exact opposite, where I think everything for him just goes smooth,
Beautifully.
bro. Well, one, he's a very capable young man too. I'm very proud of how he's grown up. But like, even just like it's not like he's not somebody that was like studying a lot. Now he does, right? Now he's like constantly learning and shit. But even when he was younger, shit would just pan out for him all the time.
Yeah.
And it just happens that way. And I'm like, damn.
I know.
Shit.
Yeah, you just know people like that. It's weird.
Well, it's also like, you know, you're not comparing struggle like you said, but there's people that will step in puddles and count the amount of puddles, and there's people that step in puddles and kind of enjoy the wetness, you know? So it's like,
I
do
like
we
that
have
saying.
similar struggles? Maybe, maybe not. And maybe you just project them a little bit more. Definitely your life, not the case in our situation. But in certain cases that is. And I think it doesn't really matter. You can't control those different things. And you can't now start looking for it, because then when it happens, you're like, look, I told you so.
Oh, yeah,
This is my life.
That's
you
why
know?
I try not to do that as best as I can. I think it's just a running joke between us.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh,
Yeah, but listen, man, it's not a joke. You know, what you put out there, you're gonna get right back. You gotta stop
I
that
used to
joke.
be like, man, I'm happy I'm not you.
Well, you should make the joke like, hey, I'm happy that doesn't happen to me anymore.
Yeah.
You're like, am I right, God? All right. I'm done.
I mean, I'm okay with the way things have gone.
Yeah.
I think
You handle them very well,
Yeah,
it
yeah. Like
seems.
they've all.
It's also, but if shit wasn't going on, your life would be so boring, but you wouldn't even like it yourself.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I know
I'm
you-
accustomed to
You
this
always
shit.
doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for getting through like the mental battles you struggle with.
Oh,
That's
boy.
a,
I don't think
big
I've
deal,
gotten
man.
through it, to be honest.
Okay, well, you're covering it very well.
Life is always exactly like you get more mature and like you handle it better. Like the thing about mental struggles is it's more about like mental discipline. Like it's about like how I react to when I feel that way.
Yeah.
Like and as a child, I'm very much more. I feel this way. I'm gonna act on it right now, right? And that's where I think that having a dad comes in handy.
Yeah.
Because like I was raised by women. I was very much more emotional than your regular child. But I didn't control my emotions. And when when you have like male testosterone and aggressiveness plus like female emotionalness, like that's a dangerous man, you know? And then like that's why I was committing a lot of things, because I didn't have like a masculine role model of like, this is what I need to do when I feel that way. Because when it comes out for me, like when it comes out for your mom, it's like she's gonna bitch and shit, right? But like when it comes out for you, you're swinging on people, lighting fires and breaking cars for no reason, you know? Like it's like, that's not okay. You can bitch if you want, but that's not how you're handling it, right?
Yeah.
And that's why all that shit happened to me. And yeah, so I think that it's just more like as I got older and I met people that were like, that's not how, like, don't act that way, you know? And it's like, and this is why not to. And I just suffered the repercussions of my actions deeply enough that I was like, yeah, I can't act that way.
Yeah.
But it slips out sometimes.
I'm sure, but everybody has that slip up. I like what you said, mental discipline. Like you have to acknowledge and understand who you are as a person. You can't just be like, oh, well, I don't struggle with any mental issues. I'm fine. And then the next day happens, and like you said, you snap right back to where you were. You never really learn how to deal with it. You're not going to get any better.
Of course.
Yeah.
Something weird too. I think I went like, after I finally got back to like public school around like 16, from there to like 22, I don't think I struggled with my mental health like almost at all. So I almost felt like free from it, right? But also I looked at that stage of life and I was just autopilot mode. Like I didn't like now in my life, like from what you can see, Joe, is like I'm constantly doing shit. I have no idea what I'm doing because I'm constantly doing new shit, right?
Yeah.
And so like life is always constantly hard, but I'm making it harder for myself because I'm constantly trying to get to the next level. But back then I was just doing what I was told. So like it was easy and there was no room for like struggle because I was never afraid of anything. I'm just gonna, I got homework, maybe I'll do it, you know, like shit like that. But now that I'm constantly adding new shit, it's like now I'm going through like mental turmoil all over again and shit like that.
Well, all you know is hard. Like, you make things hard because that's your comfort level.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like everybody says change is uncomfortable and almost impossible. You'd rather sit and suffer than change into something good.
Yeah.
Maybe you're creating this hardness out of nothing because that's all you know.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, that's.
I'm not a therapist. But I don't know.
Maybe you should start, bro.
Maybe I should start being a therapist. Johnny.
What are those people called?
You know what would be a good podcast episode? Inviting a real therapist and doing a therapy session.
Yeah, we've only been trying. Wherever you are, you keep talking.
We've been
about
trying. We've been trying too. Therapists are hard to find.
No, we had one, and things happened, and now we can no longer have her on. So.
Did you?
Oh, I thought.
Did you guys?
No,
fornicate?
I don't do that.
Okay.
Listen,
No.
listen. I've been celibate. I'm looking for the right one.
It's not our. It's not our
Me
story
too.
to tell.
Not our story to tell, right? Exactly. We're out there trying to better ourselves.
Well,
Women are the devil.
I'll try to find us another one.
Yeah, we'll find. No, we will find a therapist. If you're
It
out
seems
there,
you
you're
gotta
watching
find
this.
a male therapist at this point.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind
No.
talking to. Yeah, I don't want to talk to a male. I want to talk to a woman.
Really?
I feel like women are way more emotionally intelligent. But
But
you know, they're not.
I have one issue with that though.
What?
I think a man should seek help from a man.
Yeah. I
think so?
agree with that
Yeah.
part. I've had female therapists.
Yeah, because you're
as
just
well.
gonna listen. Like they don't maybe
It's
understand.
like my mom telling me like you're okay, and my dad being like, yeah, you're okay, but you better fucking
Right,
get moving.
right. But
Not
if a
that I
girl
had
was
a
strict
dad
with you,
like that, but whatever.
man, if a girl was stern with you, you'd listen to her. You know what I mean? So you would listen to a girl.
Oh, of course. I mean, it wouldn't matter their gender for listening to. If I'm coming to you for help, and then I'm like, oh, you're a girl. Like, what the fuck?
No,
is wrong with
not
me?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but more so, if I would want a therapist who aligns with me in every category. To be, I would want an Asian therapist if I could pick one, right?
Yeah.
Because like, there's a lot of cultural things I've noticed when I had a Hispanic male therapist, and there was just things that that would bother me about like my life that he was not ever able to understand.
Sure.
He just doesn't. He's not even from like an area with Asian. He doesn't know any Asian people. He just doesn't understand any of our cultural issues and things like that, right?
And things like that. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I went to therapy one time, and again, I feel like I'm in a very good mental place, but it's always good to go.
Yeah.
And I sat there for literally 30 minutes, and I'm like, where do we start? She's like, well, tell me about your life. And I'm like, this is what I do for a living. She's like, wow, that sounds great. I'm like, it's pretty dope. She's like, and you do this too? I was like, yeah. And I'm on my phone a lot. I was like, I probably have a phone addiction. She's like, how can we combat that? I was like, I don't fucking know. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to learn. She's like, maybe you can, start your day and you don't touch it. And I said, bitch, I've been doing this. I've been trying. It's not working. What are you talking about? Why am I here?
Okay, but also, there's so many bad therapists, dude, and that's what you realize.
How about this? It gets even worse. Hour and a half goes by. By the way, it doesn't tell me that it's been an hour and a half. She goes, oh, well, I'm going to have to charge you for an hour and a half time.
Oh, scum.
A time and a half. And it wasn't covered in insurance. I paid $225 and left there. I was like, I'm never coming back.
Never
here
coming
again.
back.
Never.
And that's why
why I'm scarred.
That's the exact therapy experience I have most of the time. And I've tried I did this like discount therapy service, and I went through like 5 sessions with her, and I'm dead ass like, you are the worst therapist. I'm sitting here talking through my own issues alone. Like, you're not even giving me your thought on it. You're just like, wow, really? I'm like, ain't no way you just wow really me while I'm paying for you.
She said that's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? I'm traveling next week, so let's cancel that session, and I'll let you know when we gotta start
That's
again.
smart,
And I just
man.
never fucking went.
Yeah.
She couldn't care less. Like,
No,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Maybe more so not. I think there's a difference. There's like life coach and therapist, right?
Life coach is another level type shit. That's more, I think, for people like us that are like performing at high levels. The issue with a therapist is they have to be performing higher than you for you to respect their opinion.
Yeah.
That's exact. I think I struggle a lot with respecting people's opinions,
Yeah.
and I say that as like I know that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I should.
Me
I
too.
should
You
respect
do.
people's opinions. I don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't do it because respect is earned.
I know
right?
neither of you do.
Yeah, well, I respect
How
your
many
opinion.
how many
I
times I
respect your
told you
opinion,
Wootak's
bro.
like I ain't listening to you even if you're right.
I respect your opinion, bro. You just get mean sometimes.
Yeah, I respect your opinion
Well-
when you're good at explaining them. That's
Yeah, you
your
just get-
fault.
you get super
are
mean,
terrible
bro.
at
Yeah, you
explaining
are.
your opinion.
Yeah, you are.
You get super mean.
Yeah, you do.
Now I have
Stop
a
insulting me, bro.
Now I
You
have a
ins-
comparable.
you insult. Yeah, see, you didn't expect this, did you? Dan, stay over there. Stay off camera. You
This
get
is a
mean,
fucking
bro.
intervention on
Yeah,
you.
yeah. You say
mean
things.
ass
You gotta learn how to
motherfucker.
say them.
I'm sorry. I just
You say, yo, John.
I hold things in and I'm like I'm frustrated. I just
You
gotta
look
say
like an
it before
idiot.
it
I'm
gets
like,
too
damn,
bad.
bro.
That's not emotionally intelligent.
No,
kid.
I
You
never
sound
say
stupid
that.
when you say that. Don't talk about that ever again.
He do be talking.
Yeah,
like that.
I know.
He's
I
like,
know.
he'll be like, Wootak, maybe this type of video is terrible.
Yeah. Nah, I can't. And then he'll like go on for days. I can't stand watch. I'm not editing this clip anymore. I can't do it. I'm like, all right, man. You know what? I'm gonna sit and cry now. Yeah. But honestly, what I would say is I think having a really good group of friends for a man especially is more
Oh,
important.
Yeah.
than a
way,
therapist.
of course. Any type of support for anyone support network is number one. Therapy should be like a mental coach. And how am I going to be coached on my mental if I don't think you got your mental more locked in than me?
Right.
You know, so that's just the basis of it. So life coaches, look into that. Way more expensive, but at your level, that's like.
I also think for plebeians as well, though, it's like, why am I going to sit here and be like, every therapist I've been to is like, yo.
No, there's good therapists out there.
Yeah,
like,
but
you
it's
know?
like most of it is like, you're okay, you're fine the way you feel, just fix it, whatever.
You don't want that type of therapy.
I want someone to tell me like, listen, you're doing this wrong, and maybe if you change how you eat, you won't feel so stupid.
You just said it to yourself then.
Right. Yeah.
So there you go. You don't need a therapist.
I know my problems.
Oh, you do?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're very self-aware.
Yeah.
Okay,
I just choose to live my life.
Maybe we should all write our problems down on a piece of paper.
That's so helpful,
Yeah.
dude. Another thing that helped my mental health was journaling.
I don't journal. I need to.
Dude, you need to, because even for you too, like anyone who's doing a lot in their life, the coolest shit to me was when I like achieved like 3 years journaling or some shit, and I went back 2 years ago and read through what I was going through.
Yeah.
The girl drama I had, the business things I was thinking forward to that I completed and crushed, and I'm like years ahead on now, you know? Like imagine reading a note from yourself in 2022. Wow, I have a call with this brand tomorrow. 2022 is too soon. 2020,
I got you.
Late 2020, right?
Yeah.
You wrote down in your journal being like, I have a call with this brand tomorrow. I'm so nervous. I'm gonna ask for $1,000. Let's see what they say. And now you're like getting 10x that amount thrown at you, right? And you're just looking back and reading that in your own words is the craziest therapy of all time.
I remember that's so funny.
Yeah.
I used to. I remember it was February 2021, I guess, or February 2021. It was like a first year of doing business, and I was super hyped up. And I remember I made $4,000. I was like, I had $2,000 from History Channel, $2,000 from I forget the other brand.
History Channel, crazy.
And I was hyped. Bro. I was like on top of the world, bro. I was like, you can't tell me anything. This is my life now. As long as I'm making this kind of money, like I'm good. I remember I was like buying my friends stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm good. Don't worry, I got dinner tonight. Man. Like, you're right,
bro. The second I started making that cash, it was like, where do we want to go?
Yeah, I bought my cousin.
It. I got.
Don't worry, guys. I got a couple hundred bucks in my pocket now. I remember because I was like, he's like, wait, you're gonna make $2,000 making this one video? I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah, guess how long the video took?
Yeah. Only took me 5 minutes, bro.
5 minutes.
That's $2,000 every 5 minutes, bro. Yeah. So it's stuff like that it's very helpful to reflect on, because then you realize, I think when you're highly competitive and always looking for more, you never feel like it's enough.
Yes.
And I said it the other day. I made a very profound story, and it's gonna go something like this. I'm probably gonna fuck it up. Don't let your desire to get better negatively influence the way you feel about yourself today.
Yeah.
Right? And you got to reflect on how much you've already come, and just embrace and be happy with what you got.
Yeah.
Big facts.
Be present.
Be present, man.
Yeah.
I'm not present enough, and I don't think you are either. And we should all
No one
really
is
work
now,
on that.
bro.
Except my dad.
It's very hard to be. Like you're fucking.
My dad's really good at being president.
Well, your dad's from a different time period.
Yeah.
Just like I was telling you before, bro. They'll have a fight, and then they'll just be like, his dad be like, okay, and John's like, huh?
Yeah.
I'm not good.
I'm still crying in the corner. I'm not over what you just said. He's like, what are you talking about?
He's like, all right,
Completely
start filming.
He's like, shut up, pussy. Yeah. I remember growing up because like that's what he would do. Like he would discipline you, and then he would maybe make you some food. I don't want your breakfast anymore. Get these eggs on my face. I'm like,
this makes no sense.
Yeah. He's like, come on, let's go to school. I'm like, no. Yeah. So it's that's
I'll be crying on my way to school every time. Every time. I'm like, wait, I can't get out the car. Yeah.
Right. I'm not ready yet, man. The tears are still coming down my face. Oh man. Well, this is fun. What time we gotta get out of here? You gotta get going.
What time is it?
3:13.
Yeah.
We're chilling for right now.
Yeah.
You driving me back? Yeah,
There's no shot.
You gotta drive me back.
There's no shot.
Oh, damn.
I can't do
Just
it.
brought my
I can Uber you, bro. Don't worry. I'll Uber you. You're my guest today. I'm Ubering you. 100%. I got
Look
you.
at that.
That's daddy shit right there,
Yeah.
man.
Listen, you're my guest. You're helping out. You're supporting. I always like to support you any way that I
Yeah.
can. By the way, guys, the sponsor today, Super Bonsai, Super Recovery. Grab some. Link is in the description. Use code OTR20
Yep.
for 20% off. We're gonna put the little link over here.
And I'm for real. If you're a drinker, even if you're not drinking to get hungover, your body takes a toll every drink you get. This helps protect you by loading you up on the vitamins and minerals you lose while drinking, minimizing the damage even long term. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it for today, everybody. Like, subscribe, share.
Oh, that's it?
Well, you want to keep talking?
I guess not.
I hate when he does that, bro. Now you make me feel bad.
Now you gotta fucking speak up for yourself.
Yeah, no, say something now.
Well, you
Go
got a
ahead.
topic? What's your topic?
It's not my show. Goodbye,
Ah,
guys.
see what he does?
Goodbye,
Now he makes me look
guys.
bad.
Well, what's up with your love life, Joe? How about that?
Yeah, how about that?
Let's talk a little bit about
Let's
your
get-
love life.
Uh,
I've noticed
me?
you've been a whore lately.
Yeah.
I haven't been-
he is, dude.
No. I've actually been celibate for reals.
Oh, really?
No
Yeah.
way.
I ain't having sex with nobody.
Okay.
Can't do it.
Why is that?
But I don't want to keep talking. I thought we said goodbye.
No, now we're talking.
Now
What's
we're
going
talking.
on?
You wanted to talk.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I wanted to ask you questions.
Nope. You want to talk about your love life? Come in.
All right, nah, ain't nothing going on.
Nothing?
Why not?
Yeah.
What kind of woman you looking for? That
Yeah, what are you
that
looking
got
for?
nothing going on?
If you could paint a picture of your perfect woman, what does it look like? Physical,
paint it,
mental, paint it.
Wait, let me guess. Can I guess?
There we go. Yeah. I like that.
Tattooed Asian woman.
Okay.
Who looks like she's extremely bad for you.
Okay.
Fat ass, small titties, 5'4", Christian, reformed, so experience in the bank, but been celibate for 3 years.
You describing yourself?
Behaves
or a woman?
exactly like me.
You look at a woman.
You're looking
My
for
favorite.
the woman version of Wootak. How
Maybe,
was that?
and maybe like a stable job, like she a nurse or something.
Yeah, please.
Was that good?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
That's
Anything
word
else
for
about her?
word. That's bar for bar.
Oh no, I take anything.
What about personality? No. Let's not settle. What kind of
Yeah.
personality are you looking for?
I would just like her to share my faith. I'd like her to be 5'2", tattoos.
No. See how I said what's she gonna be like?
Yeah,
No,
you immediately got
looks
the
like,
5'2"
man.
tattoos.
You said 5'2"
No,
tattoos. I
just-
said what is she gonna be like?
I'm
5'2"
lying. That was a
tattoos?
joke. I just shared my faith. A good woman, lighthearted. You seen Corey and his girlfriend? That shit made me so sad. I'm so fucked.
Oh man,
Is that your boy?
Yeah, me and
that's
Dan were
my
just
homeboy,
sitting there
yeah.
like, damn,
Feels good, right?
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
What about me?
Bro, currently
Yeah.
in my life in LA, every single
Yeah.
person I hang out with just got cuffed.
Yeah.
So
How's that make you feel?
It's toast.
I'm the last man standing on the street.
Me too, man.
Yeah,
I feel so much pressure.
I know,
Yeah.
man.
But not really. I don't know.
The
Things will
streets, not pressure, but just more like, cause like it changes. Even if they still hang out with you, it changes the way y'all hang out, right?
Yeah, it's not
And
the
for
same.
it's not like I don't want that for you guys, but it's like, damn, I ain't got nobody.
On a Tuesday
Yeah.
night, it gets lonely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really the only one on the streets right now.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be here either. but-
I think you need a really outgoing girl. You need a girl that's like
Me?
super goofy because you're mad funny, but you're
Yeah.
kind of shelled up.
Yeah,
You
she
need a
needs
girl-
to bring it out
She's
of
got
you.
she's got to plan the she's
Yeah.
got to plan the fun events for you guys to go to. She's got to be the life of the party. She's got to pull you onto the dance floor and be like, Joe, you got to
literally,
dance.
he's saying you need me and a woman.
That ass. You need a hype woman
They
because
don't-
you have a lot in you and you need a girl bring it out of you.
They don't make
Yeah.
them for me.
Yes, they do.
I'm convinced they don't.
You need a girl that's gonna see your potential.
I just don't think you've met that girl yet, because like the girls like that,
Yeah.
you're probably meeting at the club and you're not pulling, or like not the club per se.
I don't meet no woman
You don't
there.
meet no woman there.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm more so saying that they're they're outgoing,
Yeah.
and they're probably out talking to people and blah blah blah. And you're like
Yeah,
scared
yeah.
of those types of people.
I'm not even scared. Well, if I'm ever in a club, I don't want to talk to nobody.
Why you go to the club? Just talk to nobody.
To stand there and make you feel nice that I'm there.
Drop 10 damn she
No,
bads with me.
stop.
Yeah,
Go home.
yeah.
Where do you feel most comfortable? Ideal Friday night. Where are you going? Where would you rather be going than the club?
Am I meeting a woman or can I bring the woman with me already? I bring
You
my
do-
own food.
You'd rather be in the house.
No.
Making food.
Oh no. Yeah. But like if I gotta go somewhere, like.
So you don't like going to the club? Do you
No.
enjoy like so? Apollo,
love
like,
the club.
You love going to
No.
the
I
club.
love the club.
So it fuels you.
yeah.
Really?
Nah, not always. But yes, I do
Yeah.
enjoy the nightclub. Here's what I've learned. I hated the club when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because I was nobody with no money, and the club is meant for, it's literally structured only to be valuable for the people in like the top 10%.
Yeah.
So you're spending lots of money, or you're like, you know, it sounds cocky, but if you have clout as a man, the club is the best place ever. It's like a fucking, I'll not explain it. You know, like it's like literally like it's made for us.
It's just all negatives though. There's not a single positive from it, except for your ego. You're damaging
Ego.
your hearing. You're damaging your liver. You're damaging your sleep schedule. Your brain's
Oh,
done. It's all toast. I just go because Wootak's like, damn, you know,
Oh, you're
come out
old.
with me.
This guy's
Yeah,
old.
you
No,
old as
I'm
hell.
not.
It's that video where it's like Pee Wee, the guy that always has something to complain about, and
Yeah,
they're like
that's
at a
you.
festival.
Nah, but look,
they like pants
look,
and they're like,
look.
traffic's gonna be terrible later.
I'm
on.
He's at the concert talking about the
Yeah,
traffic.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
him.
That's Joe. 9
Nah,
o'clock,
but
like,
Apoteki, that place is good. I like them.
Yeah.
There's this place I want to go, but I need to find the right woman. It's like a Japanese jazz club, but it's like
Ooh.
cocktails and
Tommy
stuff.
Jazz?
Yeah.
What is it called?
Those are all nice.
Tommy Jazz.
Tommy
Yeah.
Jazz. Where is it?
I like things like that where I could sit here and
Maurice?
talk to you and actually, you know, understand you instead
Oh
of
yeah,
like.
I would never bring a girl to the club
No,
on
yeah.
a date. Right?
I don't
Like,
want to meet any of those women anyways.
Yeah,
Like,
I like. Hey, don't talk about those women like
He likes
that.
club
I'm
women.
gonna talk about them like that. Now, if I meet them outside and I never know, then it's fine. But like in that mode, it's not for me.
Yeah.
I like it because I'm a very social person, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to meet a bunch of people all at once.
Yeah.
Like when it's too intimate and it's people I don't really like. because in a club, right? If I don't care to talk to you anymore,
Yeah.
I just walk away.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I like parties, right? It's like
Yeah.
I can have this like micro interaction with you, and if I don't feel that I want this to go any further, it's not rude of me to walk away and talk to the person right
Yeah.
next to you. You know.
So
And it's like
you got options for a Friday night. It's either like it's a house party. It's either 100 people plus like a big launch event, or it's 10 people but you only know like a couple. The other 8 are strangers. Let's say.
probably house party. I like house
Yeah.
parties.
What about you?
That I'll take that.
You'd rather the big party.
Yeah, because if I'm going to a house party, 9 times out of 10, I probably know the person because I ain't going to some.
Yeah, I like house parties because I love
Yeah.
vibes where you know all the people too,
Yeah.
right? That's like the best type. That's why I like throwing the parties because
Yeah.
I curate all my friends together. And then also like a good host, when you have different groups of people there,
Yeah.
needs to be working to intermingle each
Yeah.
group.
Yeah.
So I don't want to leave my friends that I know that they only know the 3 of them without being like, yo, come meet this person, hype
Yeah.
them up like crazy. And then suddenly they're chatting, they're friends. Now your friend's having a good time because you met cool people, you
Yeah.
know, like, and that's what it takes. But it's a
Yeah.
lot of work. And sometimes obviously you don't hit everybody, but
It is.
It's a skill though.
Yeah.
I pride
Yeah.
myself on being a good host.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
Yeah.
bring people back into your apartment or wherever
Yep.
you're going, I try to be good. He acts like I leave him and I don't introduce anybody.
No, you do.
I do.
I'm just laughing at other things.
and what's you introduce him to people and he lets it just drop there. He's like,
Well,
okay,
if I'm in the
so-
club, the music is loud. I don't care if this is a 9 out of 10 shorty. I'm not talking to you. I just don't have. I don't know.
It drains you, is what you're
My
saying.
voice is already so low that I have to scream even more. I don't like talking loud.
and then after the second time you have to repeat yourself,
Yeah.
you want to give up.
But I do, yeah. And then for me, it is nice though, because going with him to all the Asian clubs. If I'm ever dressed fire, I don't gotta do nothing.
Oxford study
I ain't
being
gotta-
thrown at him.
Really?
I like your shirt.
What's
I'm
the
like,
Oxford
yeah, I like
study?
my shirt too.
How Asian women disproportionately go for white guys.
Yeah,
Why?
tall white guy, mediocre, but I'm not mediocre. Though.
Yeah, I was
You're, not
like,
me, you're a Trojan, man.
it's just like a stereotypical thing. It's not a real
Yeah.
study. It's just like it's just a funny brain rot TikTok term that anytime
Yeah.
people see like they use it because if they ever see like a hot Asian girl with like an unattractive white guy, then the comments are like, Oxford study, of course he pulled her Asian. And it's just like some incel behavior.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Do you notice that?
definitely Asian women like white men. Like in Asia, it's far worse. Like there, it's like actually like femcel behavior type shit.
gotta
Where it's
take a
like
trip.
where it's like racist almost. Like they're like, oh, I don't like Asian guys. They're just like too feminine. I only like white men. Like it's like literally like
Yeah.
fucking like white. Like it's just the most fucking disgusting mindset. But I don't see that much in America. Like you have you're American, he's American. You just
Yeah.
happen to
It's all
look
kind of the
different,
same.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
You're the
yeah.
same
Exactly.
culture.
Right.
Over
right.
there, it's like a fetishization of white
A different
people.
culture of,
Yeah.
of the America. I wonder if it's white people as a skin or just a different culture than what they're used to.
White people as a skin.
Well, they
They don't
do-
give a fuck about the culture, man. They're like tall, beard, blue eyes. They want
Yeah.
that shit, you know?
Wow.
And also they attribute it with money in countries like Thailand. Like obviously a European salary is definitely more. So
Yeah.
the American salary even more, right? Like it's like
Right.
the obvious thing of like, well, if you're making money in these places, you're making like 10x what like somebody in your same position might in this country.
Okay, understood. I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
I never knew these things.
We have to travel the
That's why
world.
Passport Bros is a thing.
Yeah.
What's that?
Because it's like, what? You don't know about Passport Bros?
Bro.
Passport Bro is when somebody will from like a Western country like America will travel to like countries where their dollar goes farther, like let's say Colombia, Thailand, where
Colombia
also
is
they're
the number one
notorious
right now,
for women, like attractive women.
Yep.
Because there's lots of attractive women there, and you over there live like a millionaire. You're getting the penthouse apartment. You're
Sure,
going.
yeah.
You're buying tables at the club every night.
Right.
Taking them to the best restaurants, and it's like a fraction of what you would spend to live like everyone else here. So these people get remote jobs and live abroad at all times, so that they make American salary while living in like a country that
get it,
dollar
I
stretches
get
for.
it.
And then they're notorious playboys because they weren't able to get that level of action in America because maybe it's just too expensive. The competition, everything's higher, right? Like just going on that many dates is more expensive.
Right.
But in Thailand, Colombia, Philippines, like it's literally 10% of the cost.
Bro, in the Philippines, we're so rich.
Really?
Whoa.
In all those countries, your dollar is
You're
10 times
fucking
more valuable.
rich. Both of you are fucking rich.
That's something I've never
Yeah.
experienced. I've never really traveled like
Yeah.
solo to a different country.
Well, yeah, you don't need to go solo, but
Yeah, you
that's
bring
like
your
the extreme.
boys.
That's the extreme
Even
passport,
with my
bro.
boys,
Yeah.
I've never really done that.
Do that shit, man. If
Yeah.
I could leave the country, I'd be out of
Bro,
here.
I
in a
can't go
heartbeat.
with him. That's a trip.
Why can't you go?
You can get me on
I'm
a plane.
DACA, so I don't have a green card, so I can't leave.
Yeah,
Aw.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Can't
tried
even take you
marrying
somewhere?
him multiple times, bro.
Why don't you get married right now on the camera?
Well, now we just exposed the whole thing.
Say I do, bitch.
I bought that ring for you. I love
Propose to me.
I want you to marry me, baby girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys make a really cute couple.
I don't know why
be.
they keep fucking him though. He's literally every time he tells me he's close, I'm like, you more than meet the requirements.
Nah, I mean, not according to them. So
Yeah,
I'll try.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
keep trying and shit.
Well,
Yeah.
if and when you do, because I
Yeah.
know you will.
Oh,
Let's
then
go.
I'm fucking out of here, bro.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a good little extra 15 minutes you
Yeah.
added to
Was
the
it?
conversation. I appreciate you.
Nah, let's go longer.
I gotta get back, bro.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
This guy's so funny. You're gonna actually close it out. Go ahead.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching on the Cox Podcast. We really appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe. Get Super Bonsai. This is the best stuff you'll ever buy. Take 3 and then take 3 when you get home.
That
You
was
feel like
very
a
Drunk, take an
superhero.
extra serving.
That was
Yeah.
good. I'll let you close that one out. Cheers, everybody.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Mwah.